My name's Adam Wood. I'm a senior civil engineering major here. After graduation, I'll be working for Clark Construction as an office engineer in Washington, D.C. And I'm from Johnstown, Pennsylvania, which is a little town east of Pittsburgh. I decided I wanted to study engineering in high school. Towards the end of high school, I was just kind of, starting to search for my interests, as you do, with college approaching. And I was like thinking about, all right, well, what are the things that really captivate me? And as I would visit like different places and go to cities, I would be like, wow, like these cityscapes are really amazing. Like, I wonder how they do this. Like, this is really intriguing to me. And I thought initially, like, oh, maybe I could like study architecture. Like, that seems like something that would be interesting. And then I thought about it a little more and thought, well, I can't really draw, so that would probably be a bad route to go. So I started to think, well, I can't really draw. I'm not very artistic, but I'm a little better at the math and science things. So I started to think about engineering, specifically civil engineering, as it relates to structural engineering. So that was kind of my. I sort of just decided to study civil engineering on a whim going into college, and then as I started to study it here at Notre Dame, I became really, really interested in all the things that I was learning. I was glad that I was enjoying my classes, and so that's when I think I decided that I wanted to be an engineer. First, I had to decide that I wanted to study engineering. One cool experience I had in engineering was my internship between my junior and senior year. I actually worked at a local company in South Bend that did a lot of geotechnical lab testing, and so this was kind of an interesting internship and was sort of tangentially related to civil engineering, but it really gave me the experience to go out and see things in the field. We were running tests on construction sites. We were running tests on geotechnical material in labs. And it really allowed me to see something that I didn't really get to see or study in the classroom and really get that real world experience. So I don't know exactly how much it's going to pertain to my future career, but having that experience of something totally different was pretty interesting, and I got to work with some really great people. I was born and raised Catholic, pretty devout Catholic family. So my faith was always very much part of my life. But I would say sometime like late middle school years is when I started to look at my faith and make it a more personal experience for me, make it something that I thought was important rather than something that my parents said was important, and I trusted them, so I also went along with it. So it became something very personal for me sort of later in my middle school years, and throughout like the rest of middle school, high school, it was something that I always wanted to make part of my life. So I was very much involved in youth groups and involved in my church, involved in my diocese, a counselor for faith camps, all these things that I was just drawn to because they were things that brought me joy. And then that was also kind of one of the reasons that I decided to go to Notre Dame. As somebody whose parents didn't go to Notre Dame, not a lot of family that went here, it was something that I said I would like to. I've gone to Catholic school all my life, and it's something that I wanted to continue to make part of my life, Catholic education and having the resources and the opportunities to grow in my faith. So I said, I think Notre Dame would be a really great place to do that. And since I've been at Notre Dame, my faith I feel like it's flourished because of all the opportunities that I've had to grow here. Obviously, you look around here, you can't deny the Catholic influence at this university. So I've had a lot of really great experiences working for Notre Dame Vision for one summer. I'm actually an intern in the Office of Campus Ministry this year as a senior. So I feel like my faith has really grown. Obviously, it's always a journey with challenges. It's a lot more rolling than just straight up, but it's something that I continue to make part of my life, and I'm looking forward to after graduation. It's going to become probably the most personal challenge that I have because I'll no longer be in this environment where faith is sort of all around me. I'm going to have to very much make it my own thing. The way that I think about my faith as an engineering student is it's both fed it and been sort of in a tension with it at times. So there's a lot of times where, being an engineering student requires a lot of your time and a lot of your energy. And so there have been times where I feel like I haven't been able to pray as much or put as much time into my faith as I'd like to because I'm putting so much time into school. But those have been learning moments to think, okay, there are ways for me to be an engineering student and a successful one, and also incorporate my prayer life and my faith life into this. It doesn't have to be in this tension. And there have been times like in those struggles and in those challenges where I've just really feel like I've turned to like praise God in those moments to think like, I know this is really hard for me right now, and I'm not sure if I can do it, but I feel like the Lord brought me to this place and He's given me the abilities to be an engineering student. And so I feel like it has really like honed my trust in the Lord, because there have been some really challenging times throughout my career here as far as, being an engineering student. So I think it taught me a lot about trusting in the fact that I was led to this place, which, like I said, was not a place that my parents went or a place that I knew very much about. It was kind of on a whim. And I said, Lord, if you brought me to this place, like you can lead me through this place and lead me through this experience and make it a very good thing. So that's kind of how like my faith is intertwined with engineering. So. I would say that practicing my faith as an engineering student day to day has been something that I've really tried to work on throughout my time here at Notre Dame, as far as my time management skills are concerned, because there were times in throughout my freshman, sophomore years where I felt so stretched academically that I didn't feel like I was working my faith into my life enough. But that was always something that was important to me to do, so I looked for ways to do that, and that's why I sort of got involved pretty early on with Notre Dame campus ministry, because I knew that there would be these concrete set ways for me to be involved with my faith, and that's been something that's been really fruitful for me at my time here at Notre Dame. In fact, sort of pretty early on at the beginning, I decided there were going to be two sort of extracurricular things that I invested a lot in at Notre Dame, and one was American Society of Civil Engineers, so that's the civil engineering club on campus, and the other one was Notre Dame campus ministry. So that's how I kind of like, outside of the classroom, invested more of myself in engineering and learning more about outside the classroom things, and also was able to invest more of myself in my faith, meet other people and pray with other people who had this same ideal of growing closer to God during their time here at Notre Dame. And so now at the end of my senior year, I feel like I've been able to have a good balance of time invested in my faith, having conversations with people, having a more consistent prayer life, and also being able to give enough time to my studies. So. I would say that for those students that are passionate about their faith and also study engineering, think about how all the potential that an engineer has for making a positive change in the world. So that's been sort of something that I've thought about through my time here. Is a lot of people think about like how their profession will benefit others in the future, and I think it's pretty clear to see how engineers in all that they do in making the world go around work tirelessly towards the goal of bringing like everybody a better quality of life. And I think I always think and am thankful to God for giving me the opportunity to have the technical skill set and have the opportunity just to study here at Notre Dame in a school that's focused not just on educating the mind, but on educating the heart and soul also, to really think about how studying engineering is going to benefit others in the future, and hopefully that you are studying it not just because it might get you a good job or something like that, but because you really can use that profession in the future to make the world a better place. I would just say that studying engineering has been one of the most unique and exciting and challenging, stressful, joyful things that I've done in my life. And I would sort of encourage anybody watching this who's younger and thinking about studying engineering, really think about like what you're passionate in, and if you're in the middle of studying engineering, just because it's difficult doesn't necessarily mean that you won't enjoy it or get joy out of it. I think looking back, I'm really happy that I stuck with engineering and pushed through the struggles that I had at some points, because it was something that I was genuinely interested in, and I'm so grateful that after graduation I'm going to have the opportunity to work in that field. And also never forget to just invite God into your studies, ask for help. I think that can be something that really benefits you during your time.